Venetian women, and they alone, prettified their bosoms with rouge and flaunted them in plunging necklines that revealed their ruby-red nipples. The signoria's severity grew, but the women paid no heed. With the booming perfume market, musk and civet were worth their weight in gold, and they found their way into Italy's most important courts. In Milan, the maestro...
Max and Sons Parfum.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle like a beam. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me, and what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands and pray. Your own hands can lay your own I'll be cruising in my lane fast, be like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility nightly. If you think you'll win, hot enough nightly. Take a shower, cold-blooded sour. Take a cold shower, is what I call it louder. Look until you run it up when they holler doubters. The following rows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right down. I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain. Turning losses into gains, I'm about to make a change. I've been rocking this exchange, work for it. Popping off and risking things, gonna make work for name. I just wanna be famous. I won't stop till they hear me now, but I don't want that shit. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I just wanna be greatness.
Along with maiolica vases for pastes and ointments, their rooms became filled with silver bottles for liquid perfumes, and ivory, horn, and silver cases for pouches of civet or musk. Even rosaries were made with perfumed pastes. Not for devotion, but for lasciviousness, thundered the signoria, concerned as always with their citizens' morality. But the ladies turned a deaf ear, and rushed out to buy anything endowed with a fragrance. Not only the precious essences offered by traders of perfumes, musks and spices, but also perfumed shoes, gloves, caps and even coins. For Venice, the Renaissance was an age of cosmetics. Women let their hair go blonde in the sun, wearing crownless hats but with a broad brim, so as to protect their faces, which had to remain purest white. If one's skin lacked the desirable whiteness, it was to be bleached with recipes and techniques that bordered on revolting. Raw veal dipped in milk, or soft bread and vinegar mixed with ox dung. The Venetian women, and they alone, prettified their bosoms with rouge and flaunted them in plunging necklines that revealed their ruby-red nipples. The signoria's severity grew, but the women paid no heed. With the booming perfume market, musk and civet were worth their weight in gold, and they found their way into Italy's most important courts. In Milan, the Maestro dei Profumi of Ludovico il Moro was none other than Leonardo da Vinci. In Mantua, the beautiful and cultivated Marquise Isabella d'Este, a true First Lady of the Renaissance, invented and spread the use of perfumes and cosmetics, including a forerunner of toothpaste, and she also launched the fashion of hairpieces. Production workshops began to spring up in Florence, and from there they spread throughout the European courts. Here again this development is owed to a charming young lady, Catherine de' Medici, who in 1533 married the future King of France. When she moved to the French court, she took her trusted perfumer Renato Bianco with her, along with the formulas of the monks of Santa Maria Novella. France was enthusiastic, and Renato became René le Florentin, the progenitor of French perfumes. Italy and France competed in creativity and quality. 50 years later, while visiting Venice, Catherine's fourth son, King Henry III of France, visited the atelier of Maestro Domenico Ventura, a perfumer in the Merceria at the Sign of the Lily, and he spent 1,125 scudi on musk. For the time it was a staggering sum. Unsurprisingly, Ventura served the majority of Europe's sovereigns and princes, because in his atelier he kept rare things of the world. Venice was also ahead of the times in other more disputable aspects, such as counterfeiting. Tommaso Garzoni wrote about the phenomenon, citing those who did not hesitate to falsify every kind of odour and fragrance in 1,000 ways and means. Perfumers' ateliers increasingly resembled alchemists' caverns, where, instead of the philosopher's stone, the quest was to discover and invent new aromas for ladies and gentlemen. Each had his own formulas, which were naturally veiled in secrecy. However, since the Venetians were already acquainted with the mysterious art of publicity, these secrets were rendered public and competitive with an unscrupulous communication strategy in books and pamphlets. Indeed, a great buzz was generated around a booklet published in 1555, titled The Famed Secrets of the Perfume Arts. It contained 300 recipes dedicated to personal grooming, from cosmetics to scents. The entire female universe was explored, from hair dye to face cream, from toothpaste to breath fresheners, but above all perfumes in every form, solid, liquid, oily and powdered, to fragrance everything from the body to clothes and even gloves. Then there were the ingredients: musk, civet, spice bush resin, aloes wood, Ceylon cinnamon, orange blossom and Damascus roses, ambergris, as well as flower and fruit extracts. The same ingredients also perfumed the Venetian Republic during the century of its lavish decline, the 1700s. This was the century in which great noses such as Casanova's sniffed the air to follow the sweet-scented trail of an amorous escapade. Then as now, a lady or young bride's beauty paraphernalia could not fail to include a bottle of perfume. The art of perfume radiated from Venice throughout Europe, particularly in France and Germany. Evidence of the sciences, arts and craftsmanship in the long Venetian tradition can be found everywhere. It is no coincidence that in 1709 the grandsons of the Venetian perfumer Caterina Gennari, the brothers Giovanni Maria and Giovanni Battista Farina, created their eau de cologne inspired by the 17th century Aqua Mirabilis of Gianpaolo Feminis, which, however, was intended for drinking. The long history of the town of Grasse led it to become the town of perfumers, with a flourishing production of floral and fruit essences that were so dear to the beautiful but ill-fated Queen Marie Antoinette. Then, alas, Napoleon arrived in 1797, and France took over everything from Venice to supremacy in perfumes. It was the beginning of the modern era of fragrances. Gradually, the great international and Italian designer names were established, along with the thousands of perfumes that today pleasure our noses, offering relief from modernity's olfactory insults. However, in all these myriad fragrances, whether ancient, modern, classical or futuristic, there will always be some age-old molecule pertaining to the great Venetian history of perfume.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, ooh, I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big.
Thank you for watching.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**.
Any of my content's uploaded every week. See you again next time. Max and Sons Parfum. Even the goddess will fall.